Hey guys, this is Dummy24 and welcome to episode 3 of my series Become a Better Tanker. This series is designed to teach you little tips and tricks to help you become a better player in the online game World of Tanks. This episode, we're going to talk about how controlling the center of the map, well, usually, there are exceptions to the rule, but I'd say 8 times out of 10, if you control the center of the map, that you're going to win. And the easiest way I can use by analogy is if you ever play chess or chess or checkers. Actually, it's the title of the video. If you've ever played chess, then you realize that controlling the center of the board is almost, I don't know, 90% of, just throwing these numbers out there, almost like 90% of the key to winning a game of chess. Now, can you win chess games by not controlling the center of the board? Yes, that's true. But that happens so rarely that it's the exception that proves the rule. And the same strategy applies to World of Tanks and usually other online games or other video games or whatever the case may be, like this. Now, the center of the map on this one is this center area that I have my Panther tank on, that I'm sitting on top of, with the amphitheater right here. If you look on the opposite side, you can shoot down on tanks going, let's see, right around this little waterfront edge. You can shoot tanks coming through the center, but on the opposite side of this hill, because we are up on top of a hill. And you can shoot tanks on the northern side too. So you can see both flanks, the north and the south flank, as well as the enemy's cap, or if you're coming from the opposite direction, my cap. So to say that the center on this map is important is an understatement. With being able to shoot on so many not random, but so many various levels and various places throughout the map, controlling the center of this map is very important. Now, let's start this back up. And you can see that I'm trying to do it with that IS-3, take a shot at him. And you can see that this game pretty much progresses like any other World of Tanks game progresses. You've got half of your allies that go to the north, half of your allies go to the south, with a few stragglers in the middle. And with that, I decided to be one of the stragglers that took the middle in order to just to try to test out my hypothesis, I guess you could say, before I made the video. Now, you'll see what will happen in this video is there's going to be a lot of jockeying for position on who controls the center. Right now, I'm up here trying to get some shots on the people on the northern side and to try to hold the middle. And you can see that this 12-ton comes up here, and we kind of go back and forth, deciding on when to attack. We have an M6 for backup. It goes back and forth like that. And this the opposing team's Panther comes up here, and here's another quick teaching moment. Now, as you play the game more and more and more, you're going to realize that certain tanks have weaknesses and other tanks don't. I've played with the Panther tank for quite a bit, and I know that one of the weaknesses is that lower plate right there where I'm about to shoot. Sure enough, I shoot, and you saw it for a quick second there. I shoot, and like I said, if you've played the Panther for a little bit, you'll know this. That lower plate on these Panther tanks, you shoot anywhere down there, it's like you could shoot the dirt in front of it, a little rock hits that lower plate, and your engine's going to be on fire, and like your entire crew's going to be gone. Sure enough, I shoot down there and set his engine on fire and do a substantial amount of damage. I was going to back off of there, but I came back up to try to hold the position. See, those two, that Type 59 and that 12-ton, I think a better play for them, instead of rushing the IS right there with, and then, generally speaking, you don't want to rush right away because there's going to be tanks, just like that T-34, that are just moving into position. They haven't fully gotten in there. So by rushing, you're going to expose yourself to the little late stragglers. Now, if this would have been a couple minutes in and then they decided to rush, it could have been a different story. But those two tanks probably should have attacked me to control the center. Because look, if you control the middle of this map, you can shoot down on the T-29. You got the Type 59 right there. You got the Chaffee. You got the Leopard. You can also get flanking shots on them on the IS-6. There's an IS-3 over there and a T-26, as well as that Stuart. And you could possibly see the already back there. So to control the center here, if you were the opposite team, you'd have quite an advantage to be able to shoot basically any tank on my team. So as I was saying, it goes back and forth. And the other, well, there's really 3 teaching moments in this thing, but the other teaching moment, the first one is control the center of the map. You're generally going to win the game. Second is, if you, or as you play the game more and more and more, you're going to realize what are weak spots on certain tanks and what aren't, and that's going to come more into play as you play the higher tier tanks, because tiers 1 through 5 generally you kind of upgrade through them decently quickly and everything, so you won't really you won't have too much experience with them. But when you start getting to tier 7 and 8, you'll be playing with those tanks a lot longer, and you'll see the different weaknesses and so on and so forth. And the third one is, when you see one of your allies rush, or one of your teammates rush, you want to rush with them. You don't want to just let them out there. See, we got 2 tanks, so you don't want to just leave them out there by themselves. And actually, here's another teaching point, and that's where I screwed up right here. I should have just stopped right where this Type 59 did, but I got a little greedy, came out in the open, and now I'm exposed to 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks, taking shots from 4 tanks. And you're going to see it doesn't really work out for me, but there comes a time in every game, just as there comes a time in every football game or basketball game, when they say it comes down to this play is going to decide the outcome. Well, there's certain moments in a World of Tanks game where this next couple shots, or this next couple 5 seconds, or whatever the case may be, is going to determine the outcome of this game as well. Now, when the Type 59 pushed along with that T-29, I could either have stayed back and maybe take a few pot shots and let these guys take a lot of damage, or I could have came down there and tried to back them up. One of the strategies that was used in World War II, as well as other wars, is that there comes a time in a battle where certain points in the battle, maybe the left flank, the center, or the right flank, or whatever, you know, where the enemy and you are kind of in a pitched battle, and it just takes a little bit of extra force to be able to push over the edge to victory. And that's why another reason why I came down here to help out this Type 59. Not only did I not want them to get killed just by themselves, I had to come down here and apply just a little bit of extra force to try to secure the center of the map and win the game.
We've lost the track.
And like I said, I screwed up by coming too far down. I end up getting tracked by the KV-1S, which is a horrible thing to have happen to me, especially in the front. Now I'm down, half health or whatever. I also, since I've driven the VK right there, I know that if you shoot the tank in that flat part of the armor as well, you can get that sucker to light up and to go on fire. Sure enough,
Enemy brewed up.
he's on fire too. And this is pretty much the end of it for me. I get killed here. That's the end of that. But the really interesting part is what happens afterward. Now remember, I said you control the center map, you generally control the game. Well, there's nobody on top of this hill. We've got a few guys in this area right where I died. A T-29 Leopard, although he's just a scout, and that Type 59. Now you're going to see, and they have the 12-ton, this VK, the KV-1S, and the T-26, and that Type 59 is kind of back there a little bit. But so this is just kind of jockeying for position, going back and forth. And there's a lot of battle going on here. The KV-1S goes down. The VK is gone. The Type 59 is gone. That Cromwell gets shot because our 2 tanks, the IS-3 and IS-6 from the north, you can see they start to come down into the center to help out. The Type 20, or the T-26, I think that was, or T-29. He goes up too, the 12-ton. There's a lot of fighting going on here. But eventually we end up securing the front, and we control the middle. And again, as you're going to see, I'm going to play a little while longer. We controlled the middle, and now we're going to end up winning the game. See, we're capping. That Type 59 is almost dead in the back. So again, there's three main points to get from this episode, but the the big one that I really want to emphasize is if you control the center of the map, you're going to control the game and you're going to win the game. Now again, there are some exceptions to prove the rule, but that's the general rule. If you stick with that, 9 times out of 10 you're going to win. The second one is, as you keep playing, notice the little, every time you play the game, try shooting at other tanks at different spots. If you're going to notice, you know, maybe you shoot the panther in the top and you always get bounces. You decide to shoot in the bottom, and all of a sudden, what do you know? You end up lighting his engine up and everything else like that. And then the third thing is, if you see your teammates pushing, push with them. What's the worst that's going to happen? You die and the game's over, and then you get in another game. But test these things out. See what happens in your own games. When your teammates pushing, push with them to maximize force at critical moments, because it's going to come down to a critical moment, and it did right back here when I came down and the Type 59, the T-29 or whatever it was. That was a critical moment. If we lost right then and there, it would have been over for us. If we won, which we did, we'd win the game, and we do. So maximize your force by don't let your teammates just go by themselves and get shot up one at a time, because that's the easiest way to destroy for an enemy to destroy you is to take you on one by one. If they have to take on 5 tanks at once, it's much harder for them to concentrate their fire and to knock you out. So with that, try these strategies out in your own games. See, just when you're playing, see, if we control the center here, what's going to happen? If we don't control the center, what's going to happen? Just see what happens in your own games, and let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, if you found this helpful, please let me know. If you think it's garbage and I don't know what I'm talking about, let me know that too. And again, like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you want more of these becoming a better tanker episodes, or gameplay videos for World of Tanks. And I'm also going to do more map. This is just like a general map strategy. I'm going to do specific map strategies on each map. And yeah, I hope you guys liked the episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.